Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nomination of former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, as the new Minister of Defense, replacing Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who resigned on Monday, citing health reasons. The nomination comes less than 24 hours after General Musa met privately with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the State House on Monday evening. In a letter to the Senate, the President expressed confidence in General Musa, stating that he would bring renewed leadership to the Defense Ministry at a time the government has declared a national security emergency. Well, in an interview with Al Jazeera, which has resurfaced online, General Musa gave his insights on the insecurity plaguing the nation and the Boko Haram crisis, saying that it might be linked to an international conspiracy. Let's take a look.
We've seen Boko Haram regroup, and regroup and regroup. What is your answer to that? That you have in some way fed the insurgents?
The problem is that I think we've talked to the international community. Let's find out the funding. When they started surrendering, by the time we left, so as we speak, we have over 120,000 that have surrendered. Most of them, when you find them, they are coming with hard currencies. How did they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Well, maybe an international conspiracy, you don't know. Who knows? How are they be able to sustain themselves for 15 years? That is one question I think everybody should ask himself. For Nigeria to be able to hold them, so the UN need to come in to ensure that, because we need to trace the funding. How are they sustaining themselves for 15 years?
What does the UN coming in mean? What does that look like?
Track the funding. It's international flow. We don't have control over that.
All right. Often we've spoken about these people that are funding terrorists. I mean, this was a video that began circulating on social media again. I'd say at this moment, congratulations to Christopher Musa. I believe that he will be cleared, because obviously, cleared by the Senate, because obviously he has such an amazing resume. And I'll take a tweet on X. This person wrote, with a resume built on frontline leadership, multinational coordination, and years of counterinsurgency command, General Musa's record already sets the bar for what Nigerians expect from the Defense Ministry. His profile speaks of discipline, strategy, and results. Now, the nation will be watching to see these same qualities translate into a stronger, safer Nigeria. May Nigeria succeed. Meanwhile, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has congratulated General Musa on his nomination as Minister of Defense, describing it as an honor to the people of Kaduna State. In a post on X, Governor Sani hailed General Musa, who is a Kaduna indigene, as a patriot, and described the appointment as a round peg in a round hole, noting that Musa's tenure as Chief of Defense Staff was marked by uncommon discipline, strategic clarity, and humane leadership. And I'll read the Kaduna State Governor's post on X in part. He wrote, I express my sincere gratitude to President Tinubu for this gesture, not only to General Musa as an outstanding officer of the Nigerian Army, but also to the good people of Kaduna State who hold him in the highest esteem. For us in Kaduna State, General Musa's nomination evokes deep gratitude. Since May 2023, he has been a steadfast ally to our quest to secure every community across our state. His wise counsel, measured interventions, and firm support were instrumental in stabilizing areas once troubled by banditry and insurgent activity. The modest yet significant gains we have recorded in security bear his enduring imprint. His gallantry, particularly in critical theaters of operation across the country, has contributed immensely to safeguarding Nigeria's territorial integrity. Well, you know, this endorsement from Governor Uba Sani is significant because Kaduna State has been one of the worst hit by banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency in recent years. His first-hand testimony about General Musa's effectiveness in helping stabilize troubled areas in Kaduna State adds credibility to the nomination beyond just military credentials. Well, meanwhile, a video of General Musa delivering a powerful testimony about Nigeria's resilience and his belief in the nation's ability to prevail despite the surge of terrorism has resurfaced online. In the testimony delivered in May of this year, Musa talks about his marriage, describing his wife as his pillar and a prayer warrior. He also spoke on the crisis in the Sahel and West Africa, saying jihadists are hell-bent on taking over Nigeria. Let's take a look.
I grew up in the church. I was born and raised in Sokoto. My wife, born and raised in Delta State. She is my pillar. She is a prayer warrior, and because she has learned from mommy. I want to say thank you to this congregation, and thank you, Daddy and Mommy, for bringing this together. The Sahelian region and West Africa is facing unprecedented challenges by the jihadists, and they are hell-bent on taking over. God will never allow them to succeed. Amen. But we need our prayers. As Christians, we need to pray consistently and ceaselessly to ensure that this country remains one and the same. And we will continue to prevail.
But it's good to see General Musa this way. I never knew he was such a prayer warrior. And it's good to see his, inter-ethnic relations with his wife at this point, which is something that we embrace in Nigeria. Musa also touched on how prayers have made a difference in his life ever since his Maduguri days when he was fighting Boko Haram as a theater commander. Congratulations are in order again, I will say. Dr. Abati, your thoughts?
Yes, congratulations are in order. And I think that Governor Obasani of Kaduna State struck all the right notes. General Musa is one of the icons that Kaduna State has contributed to this country in terms of service, in terms of gallantry, in terms of commitment, in terms of, inspiring the younger generation, not just from that state, but also within the military. He started as an infantry officer, and he rose from an infantry officer to the rank of a general, and also became the chief of defense staff in this country. He has seen action in Operation Lafiya Dole. He was also involved in the Lake Chad region operations. He was commander at Operation Hadinkai, and then he became chief of defense staff. And as chief of defense staff, he was known for his pragmatism and his commitment to the assignment that he was given. So his governor is proud, and is legitimately proud to say, well, this Musa is one of our own. He's from our area. Now he's going to serve Nigeria, and we thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Generally, those who know him very well say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed a round peg in a round hole. Now, the weight of expectations is very high, and that is why I think that General Musa, as he steps into this role, must also know that Nigerians expect a lot from him. His governor may have commended him and thanked the president. It also means that the people of Kaduna State also expect him to continue to carry their flag very high. He knows the assignment. It's the same assignment that he just stepped down from. It's just that he has moved from being chief of defense staff to now chief of defense, in which capacity all the armed forces will be responsible to him, not just for budget, but also for direction. And the fact that he's from that community is also a very clever move, by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he will understand their language, and operations, can be much easier in that regard. As to the fact that is very religious, well, there are people who say it is not just by kinetic, you also need non-kinetic. So at a personal level, having a prayer warrior is part of that
non-kinetic.
So, if you have a tough job, like this one we are doing too, for example, and you have prayer warriors around you, then of course, it's easier.
Well,
but I'll rest my case on the point about, expectations. He made a point about international conspiracy.
Yes, that's important.
There's something called global terrorism.
Yes.
And part of the problem with global terrorism is international terrorism financing, which is cross-border, which is international. And yes, there is a conspiracy. After all, this is Nigeria. We're talking about ISWAP. We're talking about Boko Haram having affiliations at a time to Al-Qaeda. Yeah. So that in itself shows, you know, that there is an international conspiracy involved. And which was why the United Nations began to track, you know, illicit international flow of funds being diverted to commit atrocities and to compromise the cause of democracy in the world. But we welcome him to the office, and he should just, every day he wants to pray. Remember that he has an assignment, you know, that is placed on the rostrum of high expectations.
Fantastic.
From Nigerians, from the president, and also from the international community, and more importantly, from his home state.
Well said.
We expect him to succeed.
Well said. Congratulations, General Christopher Musa.